What's up, Star Wars fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, back with another action figure review. This time, I'll be looking at the Hot Toys Star Wars 1/6 scale Sideshow exclusive figure of Anakin Skywalker. Let's start with a look at the box. This is figure number TMS019. The box is mostly a glossy black. On the top and bottom of the box, we see the Star Wars logo. There's product information on this side, and there is a product shot on the opposite side. I'm not a fan of this layer of cardboard being separate from the box since it's prone to damage. There are very striking product shots on the front, and this is a Sideshow exclusive figure. And now let's bust open this package and see what's inside. I always love the glorious thump of opening a brand new Hot Toys figure. The cardboard insert is Anakin surrounded by fire, and it's a very eye-catching image. As you would expect from Hot Toys, this figure comes with a myriad of accessories. I always recommend that you read the directions before manipulating a Hot Toys figure. That is definitely true in this case. There is a multitude of small parts and accessories that could be damaged if handled improperly. The figure comes with an extra set of wrist pegs. It also comes with these 3 batteries, and these present a problem that I will talk about later on. There's a 2-pack of very small pins that serve the purpose of hanging the lightsaber hilt on the belt. There is another version of this figure, and what makes this a Sideshow exclusive is the presence of this tunic. This is obviously soft goods, and it fits over the figure's head and arms, and there are wires along the edges, and that gives you posing options, and I am appreciative of that. The material is very durable, and this certainly looks like something that could be used in a hostile outdoor environment. The figure also comes with detachable shoulder armor pieces. One set is a solid gray, while the other is adorned with the Jedi Order logo. The figure also comes with these 2 alternate sets of hands, and they have been sculpted magnificently. One of the coolest aspects of this figure is this hollow projector, and more on that in just a moment. We also get this thermal detonator. That accessory features excellent sculpting as well as realistic metallic paint. The figure holograms are a translucent blue plastic, and they simply port into the hollow projector accessory. Here's a look at the front and the back of the Obi-Wan Kenobi hologram accessory. Not all collectors like these, but I think they are a nice touch. And here is the front and back of Ahsoka Tano. Here's a look at Master Yoda, and each of these has been sculpted with ridges, so it looks like an actual energy transmission, and I really appreciate that. As you would expect with a premium figure, a display stand is included. It says Star Wars Anakin Skywalker. The stand has the appearance of metal, perhaps the floor of a spaceship. And this cradle and pillar port into the display base, as you can see here. And here's a look at the fully assembled display stand. And here we see Anakin Skywalker, free of the box and ready to rumble. Collectors' reactions to this release were mixed, since it's a realistic figure based on an animated design. However, there are numerous aspects to like about this figure, so let's have a closer look at the loose details now. Here's the arm with the light up lightsaber hilt, and those 3 batteries that were included are inserted into this small compartment. There is a very tiny screw that needs to be taken out to access this compartment. Once the batteries are in place, you simply switch on the light, and this lights up the lightsaber blades that are included with this figure. This arm does have elbow and wrist articulation, so if you change this out, you will still have the same amount of posing options that you have with the other arm. Here's the regular blade inserted into the light up arm, and it's a clearer color when the light is not on. And now I'll dim the lights to give you a closer look at the light up function. And although I don't intend to display my figure with this arm, I cannot deny its appeal for some collectors. It certainly does look like the lightsabers that we see on screen in Star Wars. And as you can see, even in total darkness, the light still shines brightly. And the same can be said for the motion blade. And now I'll begin to turn the lights back up to give you a better view of this accessory. These motion blades are very appealing to some collectors. I have several Hot Toys figures with these. These do weigh down the joints, so keep that in mind if you're planning on displaying your figure with the motion blade over a long period of time. Here's a close-up of the lightsaber hilt, and this silver paint is gorgeous, and the sculpting work on this is excellent. And the blades port into the hilt without any issues. This is a nice, snug fit. Anakin's Mechno arm is the one that is changed out for the one with the light-up feature. And the way that this works is that you have to wiggle this arm up through the sleeve and port it into the upper part of the arm, and that feels very risky to me. Here's a close-up of the batteries, and as you can see, after just a few years, these are already beginning to corrode. So if you decide to pick up this figure, you will have to buy new batteries and change them out routinely, or the figure will become damaged. Here is the assembled lightsaber in the gripping hand, and this is how I am going to display my figure. As always, the lightsabers that are produced by Hot Toys are outstanding. There's a small hole in the side of the lightsaber hilt, and that is where this tiny pin goes. And once it's in place, then you can put the lightsaber hilt on the figure's belt. Now the lightsaber hilt can be slid into this notch on the belt, and you can display your figure with the lightsaber hilt on his hip. Let's have a look at the lower body now, and I appreciate the look of these boots. I like all of these ridges that have been sculpted in. However, we've all heard horror stories about Hot Toys and their pleather materials, so I certainly hope that these hold up over time. The burgundy and navy blue clothing are indicative of the appearance of Anakin on the Clone Wars TV series. I like the detail of the pleats, and here's a look at the layers of clothing. In terms of appearance, the lower body has been well executed. Now let's have a look at the torso. And again, I appreciate the color choices on the clothing. This gunmetal chest armor is very eye-catching. You can see the sculpting there that goes all the way around as it should. Here's a close-up of the shoulder armor pieces. This one has the Jedi Order logo, while this one is a solid gunmetal gray. Now let's have a closer look at the arms, and I may have to replace this gauntlet. It doesn't feel very tight. I feel like it should fit the arm better. However, I don't have a lot of complaints here. The gauntlet on this side fits well, and the arms seem like the proper length and size for this character. Now let's have a look at the head sculpt, and obviously this is a very strong likeness of Hayden Christensen. I think this has been done very well. You can see the scar around the eye. The hair looks very realistic. The mouth is well done. The eyes are very intense. I saw where some collectors really wanted the more simplistic lines of the animated design. However, realism is where Hot Toys excels, and that is certainly the case with this head sculpt, so I'm very appreciative of the work that has been done here. To change the attire, you'll need to pop the head off. And here's a look at the figure in the exclusive tunic, and I can certainly see the appeal here. And there are wires in the edges of this, which could be very helpful if you do stop motion or you like to have your figures in dynamic poses in your display. The material seems durable here, and I'm very thankful for that. This is supposed to be a reflection of a garment that's made for hostile conditions, so I think Hot Toys hit the mark here. Now let's have a look at the cape. I'm not exactly sure what type of material that Hot Toys used here, but it feels like satin to me. It is very soft to the touch, and it can be inserted in either one of the chest armor pieces. I've decided to use both shoulder armor pieces with the Jedi Order logo. The paint details on these really pop. And paired with the cape, it really gives this figure a commanding presence. Also, one of the chest armor pieces has this segmented articulation, and I think that works slightly better in fitting it on the figure and getting the figure into a commanding pose. In terms of articulation, the boots hinder the ankle articulation somewhat. I really wouldn't stress this area out. You don't want to damage the pleather. The figure has double jointed knees, so you can certainly get it into a deep running pose. There is also a quadriceps swivel, as you can see demonstrated here. The figure kicks forward about this far. You can also get him to step back, so I certainly appreciate that. The wires in the clothing certainly aid with the articulation, and you can get the legs to articulate out from the body this much, so you can get this figure into a deep side-kicking pose. The belt hinders the waist rotation somewhat, but you can get the figure to rock backward and crunch forward, as well as swivel from side to side. There's rotation at the wrists. There's also rotation at the elbows, and you can get the elbows to bend this far. Those are double jointed elbows. As you can see, there is ample articulation in the arms. The arms raise up that far from the side, and a little extra if you take the shoulder armor piece off. You can move the arms backward and forward. However, you cannot do a 360 due to the clothing. I showed you the neck joint earlier in this review, and as you would expect, the articulation on the neck is superb. While there are some minor articulation issues, I think that overall, the articulation on this figure is acceptable. Please subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this review. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Star Wars content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.